being in such a small school, the students aren't just students. Like, we know them really well.
Do you want to?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Sorry.
That's fine. They can't really hide.
No.
So how important do you think it is, because there's more and more STEM schools that are opening up, how important do you think this focus on STEM is?
I think it's very important in the way we live our lives today.
Okay.
Even in the most basic of job descriptions now, there's such a focus on your maths ability.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I like the whole employability thing, but computers, and that computers, art, engineering, everything seems to have a bit of it now. Yeah. Marcus.
What?
How come you're up here, Marcus?
I was saying when Franny was.
Okay. So it's important for our type of students. However, I do appreciate that the bigger picture for other students. Do you know what I mean? Like, for this to really work, our specific type of students have to come here.
So what do you mean by the specific students? Can you define?
No.
Yeah.
No, but you have to be. I think you have to be on the more academic line and mechanically minded.
Okay.
I think to get the most out of the school, like between your maths and your science and your engineering, like that's a pretty big chunk of our week.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You have no idea of these kids. So the students I spoke about earlier, we would have a big proportion of them in that room.
Oh dear. And then the moment they see you watching, it all stops.
Well, it doesn't all stop. If it all stopped, it'd be fine.
So you think, just given the way the curriculum's structured and what you're trying to do, you think that there needs to be kind of a mindset within the student themselves?
Yes, and I do think they have to be quite academic.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I don't think they reach their full potential if they're not academic.
Given this type of learning and given this type of... Okay.
And especially the way, quite a lot of this is students have to want to learn, because we have big 2-hour chunks. For example, those students are in directed learning, so I'm here to facilitate their learning, but
they're to do it themselves.
They have to want to.
You're not standing in front of them going, read this.
So from an earlier age, they become kind of college type students, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
And I suppose with anything, they have to be motivated.
Yeah. Right. And then there's a lot of focus on project-based learning.
Yeah.
But then obviously there's the needs of the curriculum and and the GCSEs and things. Do you incorporate any of the maths teaching into project-based learning, or vice versa?
Yes, because between maths and business and engineering, we always have similar type projects. So one of our last projects was our £10 challenge. So they have to procure this stuff, they have to make a profit, so it's all about, everyday type maths. Well, how much are you going to make? What's your GP? Which is all percentages, do you know what I mean? And it's all learning on the job, because quite often when you're with a student and I don't understand how algebra is going to help me in my everyday life, and then you explain it to them, or like we're just doing Pythagoras' theorem with the maths group, so to show them actual examples of why you would need it, how far apart does it need to be, and these type of exam questions, they're very good. And even what they're out there doing now today is making
furniture.
So how they, like, how much it's cost us, how much we've saved, you know, that type of analysis.
Okay.
So that's how we built it in. We've done specific one-day projects on different mathematicians and how their theories have impacted on life.
On day-to-day activities even. Okay.
So like the likes of Pythagoras and him, and how we'd use it in everyday life, and how they've just impacted, like, and how we're still using them 2,000 years on, kind of thing. So that's how we do it.
That's how you kind of make sure it comes in. And then, just a few more questions. Sorry, I recognise that you have to kind of keep your eye on them. In your you're like, no.
It's okay.
In your 2-hour block, how do you usually structure your lesson?
Because it suits me better, and because I find it works better with my students. We have a 10-minute start.
Did you get sent that list?
No, not yet, but I'm just in the middle of that, and I'll find out. As soon as I get it, I'll send it over to you. I break it into 2 distinct blocks of 55 minutes each. So I would start it with a warm-up exercise which may not necessarily be maths, but it would be general knowledge, or it would be something and then we would do an introduction and a recap on previous lesson. We would do something meaty, like an explanation, and they would do some examples with me, and then they work independently for maybe the last 20 minutes.
Okay.
Then we would have a break, and then we start all over again.
Got it.
And the second part of each group would be long. They're working independently would be longer, and they would be set outside in a direct learning, because quite often I'm supervising it, so I make sure that they have enough work to keep them going. And as they're only 14, a lot of them, I find that if I've set them, then I know exactly what they should be doing in that time.
Got it.
And it's making valuable time of their time and my time. And because I'll be sitting here with them, so in actual fact they're getting 6 hours of maths rather than 4 hours of maths. And that's how I do the structure.
Okay. So that's quite a bit of maths in the week, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
On the flip side, though, if a student misses a day, so if a student misses Wednesday, they've missed half their week's lessons.
Yeah. So there's a pro and a con to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Right, I think I've got most of what I needed. Is there anything you think I've missed? So what kind of, I guess this is my final question, what kind of role do you see the school really playing? I mean, it's now been, granted you've only been here since January.
Well, you just have to look at Bister's economy and how quick it's growing, and what type of industries are around here. Like, it should be a really big feeder for
a lot of the companies.
Yeah, absolutely. Although it's not ideal, we had one of our sixth formers who was out on work experience, has actually left now to go, and so she's been offered a full-time
job.
Yeah, apprenticeship in mortgage broking.
Oh, wow.
Because that's what she was doing on her. Do you know what I mean? So although we wouldn't encourage students to leave before they finish their A-levels or their BTECs or whatever, but we would hope to be an integral feeder to them. So that's the type of role, like, and to see it actually happen, it's amazing. Like, I don't know whether anybody else has mentioned, like, that we have students today, like this week, out in BMW.
Mr. Kabat mentioned it.
Yeah. That, like, we've got engineering students out in BMW have on work experience placements for weeks, like for week blocks at a time, like. And I suppose that's our key selling point. Our students will be employable when they leave. Like, they know the type of standards, they know what's expected of them, and they've worked in that environment before. So that's their key. Like, that's how they'll be well educated as well. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So that's the beauty of the schools. Okay,
great. And have you heard any pushback from the local schools?
No.
Okay.
But then again, I wouldn't necessarily hear a lot because I'm not really in that sector. You know what I mean? But no, I haven't heard any.
Okay.
In actual fact, like, my husband's ex-wife is a teacher in one of our feeder schools in Banbury, and she said that she thinks it's ideal, and she has encouraged some of her students to go there. And actually, our stepson is thinking about taking the move to over here too. Like, so, in that way, to have other teachers endorsing the school, especially from different schools.
It's a big thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. Well, thank you. Good luck with the rest of your day.